Hello, YouTubers and other peoples. Plasmus Prime here. Now, I am using a different camera this time, so it will not be. It will just not have autofocus. Yay! um, so, yeah, I mean, and it also has the same resolution, but that's not the change. I have a couple of these bad boys lying around, and as you can see, I'm not wearing the same shirt. I'm still wearing a polo shirt. This is a uniform requirement at my job, and I'm recording this before going into work. But I was here to talk about, um, and I say Green Fresco, but I'm not employed. I'm not associated with the Coca-Cola company. So if they see this, it's just a coincidence. I just happen to have your stuff. Not expecting any money here. Yeah. Um, 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 um. Oh, yes. I was thinking of and I found out something. I found out this morning that Vicarious Visions, the people behind the remaster of what was originally the PlayStation's flagship brand before well, actually, I'm not sure what it is nowadays. I guess it might be the show. I don't know. But the Vicarious Visions, the people behind this bad boy, as you can see here, um, and Activision are doing a apparently they are working on a remaster, a 4K remaster of the first three Spyro the Dragon games, which I mean that's a big part of my. I didn't have a PS1, though a lot of my friends did at that time, and Spyro is a big part of my childhood, so that's gonna be fun to be able to play it on the big screen in full um, ultra high definition. Still not with the high dynamic range, but that's not. But that was. But that's not important. I mean, I guess it's still get to play it in all the glorious ultra. Sorry, allergy season. First full day of spring, you know how that goes. All the pollen is out in the air and all that, and all the stuff that comes with it. God, I hate this time of year. Well, sort of, but yeah, I mean, now I'm thinking about now. There's a difference between, there's a difference between, as you know, between a remaster, let me hold it this way, and a remake. Remastered, remade. Same basic plot. It's just, yeah, same basic plot. This one here also includes the second and third one. This was just the as you all know, this is just the PS4 remake based on the movie from a couple years ago, which is fun. I mean, this one is definitely easier to get through than the original one was. I mean, admittedly, they have a bit of an extended. They also have an extended sequence following Clank before he arrives on whatever planet whatever the hell the name of the planet is. They actually have like in the movie, they actually adapt that part where it follows Clank from when he was built on the assembly line and when Vincent was chasing him through the through the bowels of the factory before he managed to escape, which was very difficult and took a lot. It took me a couple of months to get through that one sequence alone. Because I would keep rage quitting after everything. Because that guy was hard to dodge when. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. It's got a lot of Coke products in our house. Yeah, but still, like I said, there's the difference between a remaster and a remake, and and like I said, this one is essentially it's the first three games. It's the original Ratchet and Clank, Ratchet and Clank Going Commando, and Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal. Sorry, I'm reading it off the back of the thing, and just got a little distracted there. Now this one is in 3D, as you can see. So if you have that capability in your if you have a 3D TV for your you have your PS3 hooked up to, which I do, you can we can play this in 3D. Now, personally, I eventually stopped doing that after a while because it really doesn't add that much to this one. Um, but anyway, yeah, like I said, and then you have a full blown remake, which is like this essentially. It's like GoldenEye Reloaded is because I mean, now this is something that I regret not be having a console for back in that time because GoldenEye was one of the all time greats. I mean, it's a great movie, great video game based on it, all that fun stuff. Yeah, watch it, kids. Yeah, and then you have another. Yeah, like I said, now this one's also a remake, as you know. It's based on the I mean, it says it's on the back of the box. It says it's the game based on the movie, based on the game. Yeah, and Insomniac did both the movie and this one too, so it was fun. But yeah, but still, and then and there's the other and then the other remaster I have. Unless no, I guess that one doesn't count because that's it's the same basic game, just on a different system. I also have the 2016 re-release of the 2013 Deadpool video game over here. That was released alongside the movie. I also have now this one is something that I also regret not playing on the original. And I really would, but honestly, I just don't. But honestly, it's the same basic thing anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You still get the same experience out of it. But the LA Went Noir remaster for PS4, and I do have a PS4 Pro, so I could do it in the 4, and I did do it in the 4K. And the thing about this one is you can do it. You can either have it be in color or you can have it in monochrome. And you can switch on the fly, so it's a lot of fun. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, remasters are as I mean, it's essentially they just go back and reformat and just update everything. And it's essentially like the equivalent of say moving from VHS to DVD, and then again to Blu-ray, and so on, to whatever. I think it's like ultra high definition. I think it's like 4K Blu-ray disc. I forget what they actually call it. I personally don't have capability to do that yet, but yeah, there is a technical word for it. I just don't remember what the hell it is. Let's see, trying to think. Yeah, like I said, but still. Like I said, a remaster versus a remake is, I mean, like I said, as I understand it, a remaster is exactly what you would think it is exactly that. They just go back and essentially polish up the original working. Whereas, whereas a remake is they rebuild everything from the ground up essentially. So yeah, so remaster, remaster, and the remake. Ooh, scary. Yeah, like I said, this is essentially the first three PS2 classics, but just in high definition and, if you so choose, stereoscopic 3D. Whereas this one is also in HD. It is not. I mean, it can be upscaled, but it is not. It is not enhanced for the PS4 Pro. If you do have the PS4 Pro, you can upscale it a bit and make it look like it runs more smooth. If I understand it, runs smoother. I don't have an actual standard PS4 to compare this with yet, but always fun. Yes. See you guys. yeah, and yeah, so so as I understand it, it's much harder to do a remake because you have to do because you're essentially you're doing everything from scratch. You're not just as I said, a remaster is essentially just you polish everything up. Um, it's just essentially just giving everything. Let's see how they put it with that was for the average. It's just give it a new coat of paint and then some modern polish as the as classic game room. Shout out to those guys. I mean, it's too bad they're not around anymore. But I mean, it's too bad they're not doing any new stuff. But you still find them. And then take anything down, which they could have justifiably done so if they wanted to, but they're still find their YouTube stuff anyway. Yeah, so it's one of those things where whereas they put it, a remaster is essentially taking something old and then giving it more modern polish. Um, whereas whereas a remake um, is redoing is more involved and is doing it more is definitely is doing a lot is far more involved. It is sorry, I thought that was that's just my mustache catching the light the way it is. Okay. um, I could not wait for the. So now I'm trying to take an Alka-Seltzer plus tablet before I leave. I know for certain. But yeah, I mean, so it's yeah. So essentially, a remaster is giving an old is giving something that is going back to the original and just upgrading all the just giving it an upgrade. But still, yeah, like I said, the still yeah, the Spyro the Dragon is a I mean that franchise has definitely so that was a big part of a lot of people's childhoods, I'm sure. Um, and and part of it is, I mean, it's one of those things where it's a weird thing. Where I mean, it's essential, and you know, and one thing I don't get is that I mean, it's essentially that classic dragon slaying type game, but in reverse, where you play as the dragon and you're going against the evil knight. Actually, it makes you wonder about like that one episode of the original Adams Family series where where they say that where Morticia is reading the I think it was like a English textbook or some such where they had that story about I think it was like the story of King of Saint George going um, getting the yeah like it was like Saint George killing the last dragon and and she was saying that how dare you kill that poor pitiful dragon. It's a dragon. Yeah, but still yeah. Yeah, so that's what I was trying. I really am wondering if the guys behind Insomnia, if someone in Insomniac saw that episode and said, "You know, that's a great idea. Why don't you play? Why don't you have a game where you play as the dragon, and you're going around killing these weird-looking green goblin-esque knight guys?" Yeah, it's no, like I said, that's always fun. Oh, I didn't realize you still had that. Um, I just when I got rid of that years ago. Okay. Yeah, I mean, and then you have something. Yeah, so like I said, there's yeah, so like I said, so a remaster. Yeah, so so Spyro really is something that, and hopefully this means that we'll get new. Hopefully this means we'll get a new game out of it. Because, especially with how Crash Bandicoot's popularity just came back storming to the forefront. And sorry. And one thing I really don't get, I mean, I'm sure there's a perfectly good reason for this, just that. But one thing I don't get is that while Crash Bandicoot, the original trilogy, was on the PS1 and it was exclusively there. Oh, I understand that. I mean, that's beautiful. But at the same time, now you will notice something about this one that there's something missing on this one that you can see on, say, this one, where where the Ratchet and Clank one says only on PlayStation, whereas this one does not have that, which makes me think, at least, that that there is a plan, and that eventually Activision is going to release this on either the Xbox One or the Switch. Or maybe PC. I don't know. Because I mean, like, it could be like how the GoldenEye Reloaded was originally just on the Wii, and then they waited a year or so, and then they released it on Xbox 360 and PS3 respectively. That's another thing I don't get is why are they taking so long to get another James Bond game on the PS4 or on the current generation rather? Because it's just, I mean, it's not like it's not like there hasn't been. I mean, Spectre came out in 2015, and that was well into the current generation. So there should have been something just for that, if nothing else. Yeah, other thing we do. Yeah, I mean, another thing I was thinking about is and there's also something else that I was thinking about. Oh yes, the whatever the hell. I think it has been confirmed to be an actual sequel to the original. But Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle. I was thinking, good God! I mean, the fact that you have, I mean, like I said, there was the board game that came out when the first movie was released, which was essentially the board game was without the craziness. And I was thinking, why isn't there? Why didn't Sony or somebody release a video game? Why didn't someone release a video game based on the new one? I mean, because I mean, now obviously you wouldn't have the. I mean, I guess the best way to do it would be like to have it be a VR type game. Because, I mean, otherwise it wouldn't. Otherwise. So that's how I would do it. And then, sorry. Yeah, that's how I would do it personally. Because that would, because honestly, that would be the better way to handle it. Because that would give you the more experience of actually going into the game, which is the entire point of which is exactly what the point of the movie was. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting off track here. Yeah. Like I said, remaster is good and all, but for some stuff you really do need. I mean, like I said, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I just hope that they don't change too much. And I'm saying that because there are differences in the controller. I mean, there are, like I said, the main difference between the PS4. Actually, I was gonna get mine. I have it over here, as you can hear. Presumably, I'm using a different webcam this time, so I don't know if the microphone's picking up as clearly. But yeah, here is the DualShock 4. Okay. Now, as you'll notice, it has the touchpad, and that's the primary. It has a touchpad, and it has a little speaker right above the PlayStation button, which is the which are the primary differences. Well, functionality. Those are the primary differences between this one and the 3 previous ones. As you can see, and there's also a little glowing sensor light in the middle under the Sony logo. But yeah, and also you have the share button and the options button instead of the start and select respectively, which is really hard to get used to. And as for comparison's sake, I have here the DualShock 3 as you can see, just it's essentially, yeah. I mean, it also has a 6-axis capability. They kept that. For those of you who had Xbox and didn't know that, yeah, it's essentially the same basic layout. Um, yeah, these are both wireless. They as you can see, there's no have no strings to hold me. Yeah, I mean, that's one good thing about the last generation is that they went wireless, fully wireless support. I do not use the PS3 nearly as much as I probably should. Yeah, but still, like I said, yeah. So there's that to consider. Now, I'm not saying that I don't know what does this do? It does nothing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, so that's that one. Yeah. So that's one thing. Okay. So there's but still, like I said, but this one did not necessarily. This one did not really utilize the touchpad that much, or at least not for the most part. Yeah, but still, interesting. Nope. Yeah. Like I said, it was just it's one of those things where I understand it why they're doing it. Now, there's also so much stuff that Now, here's another question for you kids out there. In light of something like this being remastered for the current generation, which is only from the previous generation, what other games? And also I don't have this yet, but they also did a remaster of. But Rocksteady did a remaster of the first two Batman Arkham games, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, respectively. Um, they didn't do Origins yet. I don't know why that is. I do think that you would want people to experience that one again. But then again, as I understand it, Arkham and Origins was essentially a placeholder while they were still working on, so they would have something for people to wait on, for people to do while they were still working on Arkham Knight. Um, but yeah, yeah. So I was thinking. So I mean, well, there's some pretty obvious to me. Like we have the obvious ones, like Mass Effect, the original trilogy. I think that would make that would look great, and just update that one, and and try it. And another thing is with the first game, it is the I think they should redo the control scheme just a little bit to sort of streamline it with the other three on that franchise. Let's see here. They're doing the new Genesis collection. That's coming out in May. That's gonna be fun. Let's see. There was another one. I was trying to think of what was it. Oh no, it's not. Oh yes. Now, one thing I think that they should, another one is that I'm sure that someone's going. I'm sure Ubisoft would probably. I'm surprised Ubisoft hasn't already done this or at least announced it yet, as a way to save face in light of how poor the reception for Assassin's Creed Origins. I think they should do like the first three. I think they should do it like with Crash Bandicoot and like how Activision is doing with Crash Bandicoot and also Spyro and how to an extent anyway how like Rockstar did with LA Noir and I think they should do a rematch. I think they should do like a remaster of the first three Assassin's Creed games and include all the DLC for, or at the very least, like, I'm not saying they should do it all in one go. I'm saying that like they should do like one and just like test the water just to release the first one, redo the first one, um, in 4K ultra high definition, or at least the option to do so if you have that. Yeah, so yeah, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, so let's see. Talking about that. So they did Marvel Ultimate Alliance 1 and 2. They did a remaster. They remastered that to coincide with the release of Captain America: Civil War. I think is what they were doing. It might have been a later point. I forget. Let's see. Then there was something else that was done. I'm trying to think. What was it? I forget. Yeah, there was something else that they did that they or is, they did that. I talked about how Mass Effect should be remastered at least. Oh yeah. I think they should they already did this a few. Like I think it was like 2009 to coincide with as an anniversary thing. When I was actually surprised that they didn't redo this in 2014 because you would think that would be a golden opportunity. But another re-release again, or at least bring it back in some form. The original, the remastered version of Turtles in Time. Please, guys, bring that back. And also, what they told that one way too soon because that one. And also another thing which would be fun to have on the PS4 would be the Danger of the Ooze would be fun on PS4. That would be great, wouldn't it? Yeah, I mean, why can't we get that? I mean, we can get yeah, we can get Mutants in Manhattan, but we can't get that other one, the one that's actually based more directly on the TV show. That was airing at the time. I mean, yeah, that's another franchise which is fun. Let's see. Yeah, so like I said, so what do you guys think? I said, with the news that Spyro's getting a remaster, what other games um, should be brought back? I mean, it doesn't matter what generation. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter how. It could be like something from like the. Let's limit it here. Let's say not going back before, say how do I want to put this? Not going to before, say the PS1 and the yeah. Okay, so we'll have the cutoff be the PS1 and the Sega Saturn era. What games since then should be brought back and full remastered? Yeah, for console, it can be like for console, or it can be like with Turtles in Time. It was originally for the arcade, and it was later, it may have later been ported to console. I forget. Yeah, so like I said, guys. So yeah, that'll be it for now. And just put in the comments what you guys think. What games should be remastered? What games deserve a remaster? What games deserve a full remake for the current generation? And or you can reformat it in say VR because think about it, with Mass Effect, you can think of all the stuff you can do with that if you had it in VR. Just like wow, I mean. Yeah, so like I said, like I said, like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully, I can get, yeah, so I can get more exposure here. So bye.